Hey guys, recently I was interviewed by KOCO5 to talk about the allergens that have been running rampant across Oklahoma for the last month or so. We're over there talking for, about 30 minutes, but only about a minute and a half to 2 minutes really makes it on the air. So what I want to do is take you behind the scenes and let's take a look at what we talked about as it pertains to indoor air quality.
How are you feeling? You said you were feeling kind of icky today.
Oh, allergies are kicking my butt right now, which is why I sound a little bit like Batman. But my voice is just, I feel fine, but my voice is several octaves lower than it normally is. This February's been a little warmer than it has typically. And so I think we're seeing a lot of the pollen production kind of ramping up, especially during this month. And so I think that's why people are kind of experiencing these sort of allergies or pollen colds. Where we see a lot of people talking about is struggling with indoor air quality, struggling with allergies. They may not say indoor air quality, but that's kind of what they're indicating is, man, my allergies are just killing me this season. And so we really start to look at people's filters. And so people, if they haven't changed their filters, that could be a cause for some of that heightened allergy experience inside their house. The easiest thing I can tell people to do that's simple, doesn't require much at all, is make sure your filters are changed. If your filters are all blocked up, they're not getting good airflow through that and they're not catching the pollen that's being introduced to inside the house. So whenever that happens, right, you're just circulating that air. That pollen is just getting cycled through your air conditioning system. Make sure your filters are being changed and those filters will catch those pollen particles. And then that way the inside air will become cleaner as a result of that. And obviously if you've got big cracks in your windows or anything like that, make sure those are sealed up with weather stripping. You could get a little bit more granular or in the weeds when it comes to trying to prevent outside air from coming inside, but changing the filters is going to be probably the biggest and easiest things for people to do. If people really want to up their game on their indoor air quality and allergy prevention, something that I do that I will live by for as long as I'm alive is if you have a system where you can have an upgraded filter. So instead of a 1-inch filter, you'd have maybe like a 4-inch filter. And then there's something we call an ionizer. It's just a whole home scrubber. What it does is it produces ions and kind of goes throughout the air and helps clean the air even more thoroughly. And so if you really wanted to up your game, if you've got really bad allergies like I do, or if you've even got asthma, those products are probably going to be some of the best things that you could put on your air conditioner for your home. How often you should change your filter is really dependent on some of the things that you're experiencing. So if you've got pets in the house, if you're a big allergy sufferer, I would honestly look at minimally changing it once a month. Normally we tell people once every other month or something like that. You can go up to once every other week if you're really just struggling. And that way your filters are getting changed out regularly. You're not just recycling old air that your filters are dirty and you're introducing that to the system. So as far as filters go, if you've got those 1-inch pleated filters, you got pets in the house suffering from allergies, every month. Start with every month, and if you need to go more often, go more often. But every month, probably that standard right there. So MERV ratings, think about MERV ratings as like gas mileage on a car. The higher that MERV rating, the better that filter is. And so you're gonna see the higher MERV rated filters, they kind of have a zigzag pattern, and the higher the MERV rating, the tighter that zigzag pattern is. And so what that does is that increases that surface area so it catches more stuff. I would say 10 to 12 is normally a pretty good range. You're gonna have different people comment on different, like, oh, well, I think this one's better than this one. It's generally what MERV rating can fit for the filter you've got is really kind of where you've got to get really specific at is what kind of filter does your system take. In addition to changing people's filters, one thing that people probably don't think about a whole lot is how much allergens your pets are bringing into your house, especially if you have a pet that you send outside, they come inside, they've been rolling around in the grass, all that pollen settling down on the ground and their fur is picking a lot of that up. Once your pets come in, make sure you're getting them brushed. Make sure you're getting them wiped down. We've got a new puppy. Every time that guy comes inside, we're wiping him down. That's mostly for me because I'm suffering from allergies. But I think that can go a long way. And it's something that people might not think a whole lot about is how much they're introducing to their home from their pets being outside and coming inside. This is a MERV 11 filter. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting it up in the filter grill right now. And the way you really want to be sure that the airflow arrow is pointing the direction the air is moving. So you can see right here, if we need air to go up this way because it's going back to the system. And I was talking about that MERV rating. You see the zigzag pattern. And so that increases the surface area of the filter so that it catches more pollen, pet dander, dust, all that kind of stuff. And so, the lower the MERV rating, generally the more flat you kind of see a lot of that stuff. But the big deal is making sure it's facing the right direction. So we're gonna fit that up in here, okay? Sometimes people You might can feel just that suction back in there. You just need to make sure that it fits nice and snug. We've got some of this right there. Perfect. And just go here, and you're clipping this back into the air filter, and you're good to go. This is easy to do. Just move those tabs, or just some people have screws that they've got to move out, but you can easily change this out at your own home. This is the fastest, easiest thing that people could do to really improve the air quality in their house. From your general hardware store, there's going to be somewhere in the probably $15-ish range, and so that's not too bad. And obviously, the higher the MERV rating, the more expensive they get, and the lower the MERV rating, probably a little bit more on the cheaper side. I think there's some people that don't realize they have filtration in their house, and so you'll go to some homes and they haven't been changed in months and months and months, and they'll be really caked up with a lot of dust. He does a great job, so this filter is pretty clean, but you'll see whenever the airflow, so you'll see this part of the filter would be pretty much, you'll have a layer of that kind of gray dust over it. And a lot of times they'll either be in the ceiling, but they can be in the walls as well. And so that's got a sidewall grill, but it's the exact same principle. You just take that filter out, put it back in. It doesn't matter whether it's the ceiling or the floor. The floor might be easier. You don't have to get a step ladder, but yeah, very simple. I hope this video was really helpful. If you have any questions about your indoor air quality, leave them down in the comments below. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. Or if you live in the Oklahoma City metro area and need an estimate on replacing your system or repairs, scan this QR code up here and we'll get you taken care of. Thanks.